Hi, I'm Bankim Chandra, CEO of Dotsquares. Dotsquares specializes in creating, designing, developing web apps, mobile apps, CRM systems as per the needs of our customers. As part of this series with Lyca, I'll be bringing, entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs who have had a similar journey to myself, who have worked really hard and still have challenges almost on a daily, weekly basis. I'll try to keep it light, bring their personal life a bit, and what have been the challenges, and hopefully make you viewers learn from them and make you a successful entrepreneur one day. Thank you. Hello all. I am so delighted to have Daniel Ox with us today at the Lyca studio. Dan is a dear friend from the last 20 years. He's the co-founder and the co-CEO of Ocean Holidays based in Essex. Very, very successful entrepreneur. We have worked well together for 18 years. Dan, please tell us a bit more about yourself. How did you started your travel company?
Thank you, Bankim. So yeah, Ocean Holidays. We're in our 20th year now, and how we started the business is quite interesting. So now, I'm from Essex, and my parents actually used to have the fruit and veg stalls in Romford Market. And at the time, I was living in Spain.
That's why you're so healthy, Dan?
Exactly, yeah, lots of fruit and veg.
Yeah.
So I was living in Spain at the time. I sort of jumped out of university after a year. I wasn't enjoying it. And my dad called me and he said, listen, I've heard travel companies are good things to get into. Why don't you and your brother, who's just finished university, he actually got through, why don't you start a travel company? I'll lend you some money. I think it's a good idea. So I travelled back from Spain. We went to a show called World Travel Market. We met an airline, we met a hotel company, and we set up a travel company. We called it Travelox at the time. And back then, it wasn't really much about websites and digital. It was very much around teletext. So everyone used to book their holidays through teletext, pressing the red button. Well, I don't think it was a red button then. I think it was probably something else, the text button. And people used to flick through the pages, and we would have our advert there selling holidays to Tenerife, Turkey, etc. And so we set up the business. We started advertising on teletext. We were selling a flight company and a hotel company. And then we started to get quite a lot of inquiries about Dubai. So people in the Essex area like to travel to Dubai. And so we convinced teletext to open up the first Dubai section on teletext. So we was the only pages on this Dubai section, this Middle East section. And we kind of it started to explode after that. But the real story about starting the company was my dad's idea. He lent us a few £1,000s at the time. And that was it. That was it.
That's a story. I hope you're able to inspire a lot of people over here, which I'm sure you will do. So, Ocean Holidays and Dotsquares, we started working about 18 years back. Then, and if I remember correctly, we were introduced by our mutual client at that time.
We was.
And then you thought of trying us with one developer, one programmer at that time?
Yeah, so having the pages on teletext, we used to have a little web address, www.travelox.co.uk. But what we found was, not only was we generating business from the text pages, people were coming onto our website, okay? So we realised, actually, there's a lot of people transitioning online. Obviously, we knew there was a massive wave of people going digital. So we wanted to build more websites and do more technology. So we met each other and I said, look, I need to build a better website. And so we said, look, we can offer you these services, technical services. So I had a developer at Dotsquares. Originally was just one guy. I'd worked with them directly and we started building out some websites. We built a website called beatthebrochure.com. Now, for a travel company in Romford in Essex, it was quite something, because we was building online bookability of flights and hotels on this website. And that website kind of exploded really quickly. And so, we started with one developer, and 20 years later, we've got 28 developers now with you guys based in Jaipur. We work very closely with you, and we're building lots of different systems, and we're actually running lots of different websites and lots of different systems.
Thank you for that. And of course, people who don't know Dotsquares, we have been going on for the last 20 years. This will be our 21st year, and we have got 1,000+ developers now across 5 continents. And we work with a lot of clever people like yourself. But I would say the Essex entrepreneurs, they are very, very impressive right from the start, Dan. You have been so much on top. And I think communication is usually what I say the key within IT projects.
Yeah.
And that's where you have been very good. So what advice would you give it to someone, you know, who would like to, who understands and appreciates that business between UK and India is done a lot, right?
Yeah.
What should be their readiness level? You know, what should be there in mind? What should be their expectation working for a company, with a company like us who's based here in the UK, having development centers in India?
Yeah, I think it's interesting because obviously when I speak to a lot of my peers or people like along the journey that we've been on, and they talk about technology, I say, yeah, my developers are based in India, and they're like, oh God, I had this time when I built this website, and you know, and they got this expectation of like freelance development, you know, not being quality. It's obviously quite the opposite when we're at Dotsquares. You guys have got US offices, Australia offices, UK offices, you've got your development centre, and the processes are super professional services. So for us, it's more of an extension of our IT team, rather than having them onshore in the UK, you know. So what's the advice I'd give? I think with anything in business, it's about having a clear vision, and it's about understanding what the goal is, the true goal. Whether that's a goal of getting someone to check out on a website, whether it's someone to buy something in the shop, whether it's what is the goal, and then working the processes backwards and threading IT through that. It's always, for me, it's always IT, right? Yeah. Because I'm an IT guy, a techie. So how can I work with an offshore development company or any development company to achieve the goal of what I'm trying to achieve? A lot of people have a lot of ideas, but you've got to start with the end goal, work it backwards through the operational processes, and just start delivering.
Then I know you very well. You're always looking at the latest technology and how you can incorporate that within your business. Yeah. I think I know you well. So ChatGPT, right?
Yes.
You must have already done something about it.
Yeah, well, when I don't know if you, obviously you've seen ChatGPT. I think I texted you saying, have you seen this?
Yeah.
And I don't know if you had at that time, but do you remember when the first iPhone came out? And I got the first iPhone, and I swear it felt like something from outer space. It's nothing, not a lot of things take me by surprise. When I got that first iPhone, it blew me away. Yeah. I thought, wow, we are amazing as humans to be able to do something like this. And I'd heard a lot about AI, a lot about chat. And when I used ChatGPT for the first time, I hadn't had that same feeling as when I found the first iPhone. It blew me away. It was amazing. So instantly, I spent about 2 weeks on it, by the way. Wow. And I'm boring everyone in my office about it. Have you seen ChatGPT? Have you seen it? Let me show you this demo. Let me show you this demo. So it was amazing. So, but I was thinking, how can we apply this? Yeah. So ChatGPT is a natural language software. A lot of our business in travel, we sell holidays, okay? So we're in constant communication with our customers over email, SMS and telephone. We're putting together curated and bespoke itineraries for our customers. So ChatGPT, for me, at this stage, is about integrating it within, you know, augmenting it with our humans. Yes. Yeah, I say our humans, you know, the team at Ocean Holidays. How could they have to hand type responses? Sometimes we can select templates. So for me, integrating ChatGPT and using it for our business today will be, why don't we give our agents the option to say, create a ChatGPT response? The great thing about ChatGPT, it's so intelligent, you can feed in your brand language to it, you can feed into the prompts, and you can, you know, if a customer emails you and say, create a response, it will take all of that into consideration and reply to the customer so that it creates this nice brand language across the organisation, so everyone sounds the same. Just getting everyone to use the same language and speak the same language is difficult, right? Everyone's got their own style, and we don't want to take away from that. But ChatGPT can help give a more
symmetric reply.
Yeah, symmetry across the organisation, and more, and it can bring a bit more detail to it. So we think we're going to integrate ChatGPT as a customer response mechanism.
Great.
But is it going to replace the humans? Absolutely not. Are we going to join ChatGPT to make the agent's time easier, better, and the customer's experience better? Yes, that's what we're going to do. And we're going to see where it takes us.
Yeah, that's great. Then I know you have been to India a few times. You like to go and visit the team, show the roadmap. Tell us some interesting story when you visited India, you know, anything which you found culturally, which we don't do it in the UK.
So I think the first thing is, when I first visited India and came to Jaipur, I've never felt so far from home. It felt like quite a cultural, wow, this is, you know, I'm a long way from home, Toto. So it was just like the noise, the smell, the sound, everything. But I suppose, and we met at the offices, we won't talk about the technology and all the stuff we went into, but I suppose one of my experiences that I remember quite vividly is when you said, have you tried a fire pan? Fire
Yes.
pan?
Yeah.
Have you tried a fire pan? No, what's that? Oh, it's just pull over, driver, pull over. Pulled over on the street. Street vendor comes out with a small
The leaf.
the leaf, sets it on fire, and then proceeds to stick it in my mouth. That was kind of quite abstract for me. It was quite different. I'd never experienced that. That would I don't know wherever else you could ever experience something like that. So I'll never forget that. But quite taken back by India. It's so different and so amazing, and you know, the team you got out there, you've got an amazing team, amazing people, and it just made me have more respect for you guys and the operation, and you know, and long may our relationship continue working with you guys. So
In Florida, then you are top travel company for last 2 years. You have been the most successful company in the UK for last 2 years.
Yeah, we're the fastest growing travel company in the UK for the last 2 years. Yeah.
Do you have any plans to maybe do holidays in India?
Never say never.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's on the roadmap, but what we do have plans for is to expand our destinations.
Yeah.
We sell Florida. We're the largest in Europe, the largest tour operator in Florida. The only people bigger than us in the UK are those with their own planes. So you've got the TUIs, Virgins, etc. So for us, being single destination allows us to be a specialist.
Yeah.
However, for us, it's about keeping our customers engaged with us, not just booking that one-off dream holiday or maybe coming back every 2 or 3 years. So we're definitely going to be expanding our destinations into 2024 and 2025. Yeah. So India, watch this space.
Thank you. So, you know, growing business and running business all the time is never easy, as we both know. I would like to know, you know, top challenges you faced recently, including COVID times.
Yeah.
Of course, travel was impacted big time.
Yeah.
And how you balanced your work and family life, you know, around those times to give that positivity to your staff members, you know, and to your wider team.
Yeah, I think no travel business in COVID it was easy for, but generally, if you have a travel company, you're used to problems, okay, whether it be volcanoes or airlines, you know, going into administration. We're constantly dealing with problems. Don't get me wrong, COVID has been up there with some of the most significant, especially when Donald Trump announced that he'd shut the American airspace. For us, that was, you know, quite cataclysmic. So for us, first and foremost, we look after the staff, make sure the people are okay, and make sure the customers are okay. Yeah. First and foremost, are our employees okay? Are they safe? Are they well? How can we, you know, protect them? And then secondly, how do we handle the bookings? We had 20,000 bookings, yet due to travel, when the lockdowns happened. So for us, it's very much about how we can protect that business and protect those customers and move those businesses move those customers forward and rebook their holidays. From a balance perspective, I mean, it was hell really for the first 2 months. Then it became quite gimmicky when we was all at home working. We were very lucky because all of our systems are in the cloud. So it was quite interesting because we always wanted to start up home working. But we need to employ more people from around the country, home working to expand the business. We was all in the offices in Romford. You know, there's 130, 140 people every day coming into the offices. So how can we do the home working program? It's never going to work. The day it happened, everyone walked out the office and home working just worked. It just worked. You know, so 2 years later, we're now more of a home working organisation than in an office. But for me, I'm a people person. I like to be in the offices. I like to meet people. I'm a creative person. I like to talk to you. I like to chew the fat, have a cup of tea. So for me, I'll always want and need that, and I think that's certain personality traits. So there's a balance. Some people don't need it. What's quite interesting though about the whole of how COVID's changed the workplace, our statistics went 20% up. So our employees and the teams across the business work 20% more effectively than they did working in the office. You can't deny that as a business owner. As much as I like to have people in the office, you can't deny them stats. Does it eat away at the culture of the business? Yes. Does it affect certain personality traits more than others, like mine? Yeah, it does. I prefer us all to be back. but I'm a businessman and I'm also, you know, a human as well. So we'll see. The balance is still going. It's still going. We're still working ourselves out.
Thank you, Dan. You know, for our budding entrepreneurs, viewers, someone has got an idea, right? Let's call it an app idea.
Sure.
Yeah. What advice can you give them? You know, what kind of investment they're looking for, right? What research they should do and what steps they should take. Because, you know, living in London, for example, there are lots of investment opportunities. They can get funding from various places, or they can self-fund it depending on what their idea is. You know, but can you, from your experience, and you have got experience meeting so many different people within your line, you know, if you can share some tips, that would be quite beneficial for our viewers.
Interestingly, we're one of the largest UK tour operators, but we're privately owned, so we've never took any funding. It's something we are looking at, we are considering. So funding isn't my best subject. However, for an entrepreneur looking for an idea, I know you asked me tips, but for me it's execute. I hear ideas all the time. You know, people know that I'm in tech and I start businesses and I start technology, and a lot of people come to me, oh, I've got this idea. So many people don't execute.
So you're saying sometimes too much brainstorming is not that good?
It's just, you've got personalities, that people that have got good ideas. There's so many good ideas out there, but what you don't have is executors.
Great.
If you believe it enough, you execute it, no matter what the cost. You need to borrow the money, you need to get the funding, go and execute. You might fail, but it's execution all the time. And so my only advice is, if you have the idea, make sure you can execute it. Because the funding comes. Because if you believe it enough and you want to execute enough, the funding will come. You'll find the money, you'll find the time, you'll make it a success because you're executing.
And that's what we say about Dotsquares. You know, if you've got an idea, if you're ready, we are the implementers, right? We would implement your idea, we will design it, we'll develop it.
There is one thing I actually miss from that. Pick up the phone to Dotsquares and give them a call, especially if you want to build an app or technology. Obviously, you're the guys to speak to. I think when you're, say, like a person at home that works for a corporation or a business, or you're in your role or you're in your job, and you think of an idea, the path you choose to execute that idea, if you go online to the wrong place or the wrong company, that could be the make or break of your idea working. You know, you could find the wrong freelancer, and that good idea could be disastrous if you don't execute correctly. So I suppose if people are looking for good value, good service, and to get something done, absolutely Dotsquares. Anyone asked me, I've got this tech idea. I said, if you're ready to execute, speak to Dotsquares. So that's the one thing I did.
Thank you. I tell you a story. A few weeks back, I was at House of Commons, invited for a dinner there.
Nice.
And then I took a taxi back to the station. And then I spoke to the Uber driver. I said, you know, so what's your background? You must be working really hard, you know, with Uber. He said, actually, my idea, I've got an app idea. I've got an idea related to tablets within the Ubers, and I can't really divulge the full information. And he said, I tried it, I created the app, it didn't work. I said, I'm so sorry. Unfortunately, with technology and programming, there are millions of programmers all over the world. And sometimes the supplier is not rightly suited for you. But that's my card, there's my WhatsApp number. And 2 days later, he sends me a message. I put him onto one of my solution experts, and currently we're working together.
Wow.
So it was just from a taxi journey, you know, and that guy had a bad experience working with someone and had put him off. And actually, it's a very good idea, especially being in taxis, and you're getting the related information while you're there.
But he executed. He picked up the phone to you. He done it. He failed the first time and he's gone again. That's the entrepreneur, and he's chosen the right path now. He didn't choose it the first time, but he's choosing it the second time. So you just got to be like that machine going.
So your motive is execute, execute, and execute.
Pretty much. Get it done. Fail it, break it, get it done again. Deliver 80%. Deliver the other 20% later, especially when it comes to tech and things like that. I think, you know, ideas are cheap, execution's where it's at.
That's great. Thank you very much, Dan. And, you know, I wish you all the best. I believe it's your 20th anniversary this year. I'm sure it will be a very busy year for you. I can see on your social media lots of things happening.
Yes, lots of events.
So lots of events, lots of interviews happening. And thank you for coming over here and, you know, spending your time with us. And I wish you all the best.
Thanks, Bankim. Cheers.
Thank you.